are back. Welcome back to the Nick Hall Comedy Podcast. I, of course, am Nick Hall, joined as always by
Josh Griffey.
Got a big week. We got the new video out.
Yeah.
Center field. It's the last position available.
Yeah.
We'd covered every other position on the field, and now we got them all covered. So that feels good.
Completionist, yeah. It's a good set. Guys, thanks for checking it out. Next week we have a big announcement, though. Next week is going to be probably the biggest week of videos in Nick Hall comedy history. By far.
We are, next week is Dinger Week. You heard it here. We got Chucky back out.
Bailed his ass out.
Bailed him out of jail. We got him out there. We're doing a whole week of Dinger Derby videos for you guys. It's a little bit like Shark Week, only we just show the fucking sharks all week. Yeah. You know what I mean?
We don't want to see fat Norwegian scientists telling us theories. Yeah, we just want to see teeth.
No fluff at all. It's just dingers and catchphrases, and it's going to be fun. We're going to do some giveaways. We got the new bat. Go to CoachKentMurphy.com. Go to Jaw Bats. We got the official limited edition Kent Murphy bat, and the damn thing is fucking beautiful.
It was terrifying to actually hit home runs with it.
I did not want to swing it.
Because you're like, I don't want to damage this beautiful bat.
So he's going to have to send me, you heard it, Jacob, you're sending me another one.
And if you could get me like a comical Babe Ruth size one, because I'm in that stage of my physique career. But yeah, also guys, if you check out Coach Kent's Instagram and Jawbat's Instagram, you can enter to win one of these fucking amazing bats. And if you happen to be the lucky one, not only are you going to get a bat, but we're going to get your info, and you will be in one of the episodes. We're going to shout you out.
Your name will be in the episode.
You're not invited.
Yeah, you can't.
You're not invited.
I mean, I don't know. We
don't know how old you'll be.
We could do like a claymation of them or something. Yeah.
Yeah, Chucky can't be around certain kinds of people based on parole.
Yeah. But yeah, go on there. All you got to do is comment on our Instagram or Jawbat's Instagram. You'll see the post. Leave it on there. You can win one of those bats. They're badass. They're super badass.
Yeah, and dingers. It's going to be a great week.
And if you want to just buy one, they're on the website. They're up. They're ready to go, man.
They're fucking amazing.
Yeah, they're dope. They handcrafted, hand designed that for us, and it was like I couldn't be more happy with it. It was badass.
For sure.
So, thanks to our guys over at Jaw Bats for that. That was awesome. Okay, so let's dive in. We got Baker Mayfield.
Causing havoc. Feeling dangerous, as he says. What else? We got some Dale Jr.
Dale, yep.
Can we start, though? I want to start. I have to re-air my grievances with, I think I'm going to cancel HBO.
Ooh.
I was like, one, you kind of fucked me with Game of Thrones a little bit. You lost what made me happy about it. I did that on another show. You can listen to that on the Long Box Sessions. But Hard Knocks, it might be my final straw. Two of them, right? One, they gave LeBron James a show called The Shop.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, this is a pretty good idea for today's day and age, right? They're going to sit around and talk. But the fact that somehow LeBron's like, can I have a TV deal and I'll give you an episode once every 4 months is baffling.
Yeah, and he's just not that interesting of a guy anyway, I don't think.
Like, well, no, that's why they do a great job. Because it's essentially LeBron's friend Maverick Carter's like, hey, can I just do all the talking and you sit there and talk about your receding hairline occasionally?
Yeah.
It's very much like this show. I'm just like, Nick, can I be on a show and make everyone mad?
Yeah, pretty much. That's like that's our format. No, but like so Hard Knocks, basically to set this up, I love Hard Knocks. I've watched it pretty much every year.
I've seen every season.
Yeah. And so where they're at right now, they're with a team that has a guy on the team, Antonio Brown, that has been dominated headlines. Mm-hmm. Has been the biggest NFL story for 4 or 5 weeks now.
At least a month, yeah.
And they're filming this in real time. I mean, they're pumping these out the same week they film. So it's not like they're like, oh, we missed it. We can't. No, they're right there, and they have done nothing.
Nothing
with that storyline. It's the biggest storyline in NFL, and how a producer or how their meetings are going, where they're not going. All we're doing this week is putting 8 cameras on Antonio Brown, getting as many sound bites as we can from him.
Yeah,
that's all they want to hear.
No, they started the show with about a 2-minute opener, right? Because last week they promised us, I know, guys, it's weird that you saw this useless QB battle instead of Antonio Brown, but next week we got you.
Right.
And so I was amped. When I saw it pop up like, hey, there's a new video, I was like, oh my God, fuck yeah. I was like, this and John Oliver and the new Danny McBride. I was like, fuck yeah, this is going to be a great night of TV watching for me. They start the HBO with John Gruden eating a snack, just going like, fake news. We knew the whole time about the helmet. Not a big deal. And then his agent, Rosenhaus, is just like, I think we're going to get on eBay and buy a helmet. That was it. That was it for the whole fucking show. I'm like, this guy burned his feet off, can't practice, and is now saying that he would not play without a helmet. And they just brush by, and they're like, oh, we'll show him jogging. And they got this close-up, which is amazing, of Antonio Brown. He's like, and he's always third person, right? Like, people talk about AB. They don't realize AB, just a poor kid coming from the streets, made good. And he's like, I'm like, this guy's having a mental breakdown.
Made good.
In front of your eyes, Antonio Brown seems to be having a mental breakdown. Like, and what did they cut to? Him showing up and all of his teammates being like, yay, he's here, fully mentally healthy and ready to practice.
He's like that guy, like in you know that Kevin Hart joke where he's like talking about guys in fights, and he's like, all of a sudden they just start pep talking themselves. That's AB, like all the time, like, just me by myself all day. You ever go night night? Like that's it. That's AB all the time.
It was crazy.
Made
they
it
even
from
had
the
a
streets
scene
by myself
where it was him with like this granola looking hippie, right?
Yeah.
Who's like, I have this computer chart that I'm giving you no metrics or data with which to know. Just know for a fact that Antonio Brown last year ran faster more than anyone else. And AB's like, men and women lie to AB, but not analytics. And you're just like, what is happening? There's one analytic I want to know, and it's your IQ. Like, why are you threatening to quit the league over a fucking helmet?
A 10-year-old helmet.
And even if he gets a helmet this year, by next year, he for sure has to wear the new helmet.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are we just... Seriously, like, did we need another segment of Frank Caliendo doing Gruden?
No, God.
Because the best part of that, too, was it went on for, like, a while. And I was like, wow, wildly unfunny.
Yeah.
Right? And then it just cuts to Frank, like, Gruden makes a joke, and Caliendo goes, I ran out of material 5 minutes ago. And then you just immediately want to look at the Hard Knocks producer, and it's like, there's Frank Caliendo telling you this hasn't been funny for a long time. And they're like, keep it in.
Keep it, yeah.
Keep it on.
That's better than AB.
I think, honestly, this is some kind of Antonio Brown scheme,
it's
right?
Something.
This is my conspiracy hat came out, and I'm like, they're using Glennon and his neck and Frank Caliendo as cover for this Antonio Brown conspiracy.
They've got the biggest story in football.
Yeah.
And they're following Mike Glennon around.
Yeah. No, they're
this is interesting.
Yeah, oh, man, did you see Glennon slay in that preseason game? What do you think that's going to translate to? And I'll give you a guess.
I think even Glennon's like,
nothing.
Antonio's over there. Like, you guys know I'm not in. I'm Glennon. Like, I might not make the team.
Yeah. That guy who might have nubs for feet, like, there. He's right there.
Right there. Turn your camera.
And then they even had a scene where they accidentally found this tight end. Because this is my favorite Hard Knocks thing, is every year there's, like, the overly athletic tight end that gets the fantasy bump.
Yeah.
And they found, I think his name is Welsh, or Walsh is his name. I can't even remember off the top of my head. Just fucking, they're like, everyone's like, he's killing it in practice. He's our best guy. And you're like, okay, so he's going to go in like round 4 of fantasy leagues now. And they cut to him and he's like, yeah, I just used to do a fuckload of cocaine when I was on the Ravens. And I was like, all right, this is worth not, looking at Antonio Brown. The shit lasted like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm cool now.
I did that last year because last year it was Njoku or whatever.
Yeah. No, I
fell prey to that. I was drafting like 5th round and got like 8.
Well, you always forget you're like, this
total.
isn't like a Masters of the Universe cosplay competition. Like you have to be able to actually play football. But I'll probably draft that guy.
Yeah. I got a fantasy draft on Sunday and one on Tuesday. Because
I have the potential to keep Josh Gordon. So I was like, I could really just rack up like the all-time drug team.
Speaking of Josh Gordon, to me that's just definitive proof that the Patriots cheat. Like, how in the fuck did he get reinstated again?
Well, Patrick Chung just got busted for coke.
That guy's on strike 10, and by some miracle, he just gets reinstated again when the Patriots have no receivers.
Well, okay.
I fucking hate the Patriots.
I will say
I hate all of you.
I don't. As a fair weather fan, I found my way there many a times.
If he was on any other team, no way he's reinstated. I'm starting that conspiracy theory. I'm not starting it. I'm just furthering it.
Right? You think it's already there?
Yeah.
This show has a proud history of pushing conspiracy theories.
Yeah. One of these days we're gonna get our our moment where something's gonna come out.
Once this Helen Keller story breaks, we're gonna be like, we were on the cutting
break
edge
that
of that
news. Yeah. I
you
fucking told you.
Yeah, you rubes. She was the first Charlie Chaplin. You guys didn't see it. No, I think with Gordon, it's sad because like this was a story this week too. Like they had the UFC fights, which were fucking phenomenal this week, right? And it is open press conference. Nick Diaz just comes out and he's like, or Nate Diaz, he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna like lightly throw hands while ripping a huge joint in front of the press.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy only fights every so often. His brother can never come back to the UFC essentially because of disputes that started from like weed suspensions. And all these people online are like, oh, what, like arguing because, their most popular fighter they have left, I guess, is punching an old man in the face over whiskey in Ireland. Right? Like, talk about, like, really crashing and burning.
The old man didn't even budge either.
No, McGregor walks up, he's like, proper to 12, sucks. And he just punches this guy square in the face. And the old man, I think within 5 seconds, the old man just reaches down and has another swig.
If you don't believe in old man strength after that, wake up.
McGregor's out there.
Never fight an old man. You're gonna lose.
If you've ever seen McGregor's videos, he does, like, these crazy where he's like, yeah, I try to walk around the octagon like a gorilla. And he's like, I study videos of how animals hunt to learn how to move better as a killing machine. And I remember at the time being like, that's awesome. But now I'm like, I should be following that old man and be like, how do you just absorb blows in that giant whiskey-filled head of yours? But so that's like where their money guy went. He made 8 million times more in boxing than all these UFC guys will ever make. Came back, got ownership to fight again, lost. And then he's just like, he's just kind of chilling and getting in lawsuits all the time.
Yeah.
Their other best fighter is constantly doing cocaine and steroids and beating up waitresses and whatever. Bones Jones.
Just killing
the GOAT. Just
he's the Josh Gordon of UFC. Like, they keep giving this dude chances and he just keeps fucking it up.
He's like the Josh Gordon and a Hernandez light.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Eventually it's going to come out that Bones Jones is just going to kill someone.
He has killed somebody.
Like, Bones Jones was a little high on coke, threw a high kick that he didn't see where he was going and broke in the neck of a Hooters waitress. Yeah. That's his future, right?
And it probably wasn't an accident.
No.
He's like, I'm going to kill this Hooters waitress.
Yeah, I just really wanted to prove my power. They didn't have one of those boxing machines the bros use, so I decided to use a Hooters waitress head. But this is where UFC is with their fighters. And then everyone's like, well, what happens to him after he smokes pot? I think we're at this time now where people are like, getting suspended for doing drugs is stupid.
Yeah.
Because I think because Rogan makes the argument you shouldn't use PEDs in fighting sports because if you're too strong and punch someone, you could kill them.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Every other sport, like, why, if you're on because the NFL has these rules councils, right, with all these teams and players. Why would you be like, I don't want other teams to have players that are on coke all the time? I'd be like, do all the fucking drugs.
Go nuts.
Be like, if you're on my team, knock it off, rascals. But everyone else, I want Patrick Chung on blow.
Like, it gives you energy, but 12. It really lowers your decision-making skills.
Well, so especially Chung, because he's out there calling out changes. He's like, wow, chewing through his helmet and shit. You're like,
chasing down the wrong guy,
I'm going to throw over top on that guy the whole game.
It's a 15-yard penalty every other play. You want him to be,
But Josh Gordon getting reinstated, I was like, the problem with Josh Gordon is that not the weed, but that the weed became proxy for an IQ test. Where they're just like, all right, you've been busted like 3 times.
Just stop.
Can you take like a year off? And what I read is that they know when they're going to get tested, essentially.
Yeah.
So it's literally just an IQ test. Like, you have like the small window of a year to not smoke out.
Yeah.
And I get it. He should have the right to do that. Fine.
I agree.
But that's not the point. Is that you know what the fucking rules are and how to get around the system.
Yeah.
They don't want to suspend a guy like Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon's like the ultimate hard knocks bump guy. So you're like, look at that monster.
But he's like, at this point, he's like a 10-year veteran that's played like 7 games. And everybody's like, he's so good. And he is like when he plays.
Yeah.
But there was
he's the Mike Glennon.
That one time he got, it was like one of the first times that he got suspended or whatever for like this is like half a year or maybe a full year. But he was like selling used cars. In somewhere in Ohio or something.
He was
like,
literally doing Kenny Powers. He was actually Kenny Powers.
He lived it, yeah.
What the
fuck? It's like after that, if I found myself selling used cars, knowing full well that I could be making like $9-10 million a year playing football, I'd be like, I'm gonna wait a few years and smoke weed. I'm gonna wait.
Yeah.
Run up a whole bunch of money and then buy all the weed I want and retire.
Well, imagine going home from work and taking off your Ricky Smallwood Buick shirt and being like, holy fuck, how many abs do I have? Like, why am I doing this?
I'm awesome.
Yeah, guys like me, this shape sell used cars. Like, you're like, I'm jacked and can run and jump and do good things, but, pot.
And it is stupid that pot's against the rule. Like,
I agree.
It's fucking, I get that. But it is what it is.
But again, too, you think he's the only player who smokes on a regular basis? You can get around this, man. Like,
there
it's
are
kind
ways.
Of the Ricky Williams
there are
thing.
ways.
Like, Ricky Williams just did it more defiantly, and he was kind of like on the cutting edge of this, right? Like, very open about it in a, I'm going to make change. Wait, Josh Gordon is just like hanging out.
Yeah.
And so that's what I mean. Is like I want him to not be in trouble for weed, but also you've shown yourself to be such a dunce. I can't feel bad for him anymore.
Yeah, I mean, Bob Kraft was like, "Don't worry about the weed." Like, I got caught getting jacked off, and
I'm not mad at that.
And he's like, "I'm here. I'll get you back in." You know what I mean, like, we got this.
No,
I know people.
Hey, in a perfect NFL, everyone's getting rubbed and smoking out.
Well, yeah.
It just looks like a Snoop video. That's not the world we live in. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know where I fall on this.
He's just an idiot. And
I mean, I think that's it.
How many strikes do you get? Just before you're just like, go away. Go away.
It's
go move to Denver.
It's simple enough.
Be like every other pothead and just only talk about pot all the time and fucking fucking
you
CBD
can go sell
oil.
Vespa scooters and CBD oil.
If I have to hear one more thing about CBD, I swear to God, like, I got a broken leg. Like, what do you recommend? Like, I use CBD oil. Like, no, you don't.
Yeah, I rubbed some on my tumor.
What do you got there? A cold? Here's some CBD oil. What do you got there? Cancer? Here, just rub some CBD oil on. Like, it's not a fucking cure-all, you idiots.
Yeah, no. When I first got my puppy, they're like, "Are you putting that in his dog food? He might have anxiety." I'm like, "He's a dog."
He's a dog.
Like, dogs are constantly on edge at every sound.
Yeah.
Like, every dog hears your doorbell and is like, "Wow!" And I'm like, "So what? I'm just gonna like, he needs another dose."
If you go on like Facebook or Twitter or whatever right now, you can find a post from somebody who has some sort of ailment, and on every one of those posts, somebody will be like CBD oil.
Oh, for sure.
for everything. Like,
I'll tell you what.
My toe fell off. CBD oil. You'll regrow a toe, bro.
You grow that shit back. It'll probably be prettier.
Like, it's so fucking stupid. It's the snake oil. It's the snake oil of the new.
I mean, but go on Facebook right now and think about, like, who did I party a shitload with in high school? They're guaranteed CBD oil salesmen right now.
Yeah.
For a fact. I saw like 10 of those on my Facebook like a week ago.
And there's like 2 CBD oil stores in every strip mall now. And they're like, this is going to be a sustainable business. This is going to work. Like, no, it's not.
They like put them right next to the vape store.
It's like a fucking Halloween store, man. You're going to be there for a month and you're going to be gone.
Yeah.
I don't know why I got off on that. I fucking hate
You're
CBD.
mad about CBD oil.
Don't like it.
I was like, of all the vices that we have, we're so judgy on CBD oil. People, it's like if people knew the kind of things that we regularly put in our bodies, for us to be having this conversation is a little hypocritical. We're a little Jay-Z joining the NFL board.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what's your take? So let's lay it out. So Jay-Z has gotten a new position with the NFL.
Yeah.
Essentially to ensure that they don't have to have Hall & Oates do all the rest of the halftime shows, I think, right?
Well, they were rightfully their group or whatever, because they brought Maroon 5 out in Atlanta.
Yeah.
For the Super Bowl, but Atlanta has like one of the richest like musical histories. There's so many people that came from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Maroon 5 not being one of them.
Well, like the fact that they're not like, hey, let's just have Killer Mike and Run the Jewels open up.
Get Andre and Big Boy back together and give me an Outkast concert.
Dude, an Outkast
and
reunion.
I'm fucking in, man. Like,
Killer Mike,
the
opening
Kings of Atlanta,
for Outkast.
All day.
And then Jermaine Dupri's like, can I get in? Go home. Not you.
But my favorite story out of all of that was so Kenny Stills calls out Jay-Z and basically is like, he's not an NFL player. He has never had to take a knee like we've had to take a knee or something along those lines. So the next day at practice, this white bitch-ass coach for the Dolphins just pumps Jay-Z like nonstop throughout practice. And Kenny Stills just had to be over there being like, this motherfucker.
Like Kenny Stills is like, if only I was still a wide receiver 1, this would never happen.
5 years ago when I had clout, man. I swear to God.
Yeah. No, it's a weird thing because I saw a round table, right? And the only clip I saw was Charlemagne the God.
Yeah.
And I'm not familiar with his work per se. Like I know he does.
I know he is.
He does like a show. I hear like clips of his radio show that's pretty good. And but he was like calling out Jay-Z about like how could you take this job and Kaepernick is still, not in the NFL, whatever.
Right.
And it felt very much like this is not a conversation for me to weigh in on.
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna see what happens. And the camera pans, and there sits Roger Goodell in like a white golf shirt, just like, can I suspend everyone in this room? He's like, there's a lot of...
No, I'm hip.
There's a lot of non-owners in this room. Weird. Have any of you punched your wives in an elevator? No? Okay, I have nothing to add to this.
Well, the other thing that came out about it was, speaking of Jermaine Dupri, was apparently he was offered that job first. Months and months ago.
In 1997?
No, it's apparently like recent, but apparently Jay-Z called him and told him not to do it because it'd be a bad look, and then just shystered his ass.
Sneaky
and
fuck.
then just shystered his ass.
Well, I saw because Dupri came out with the video and was like, that never happened. I'm like, well, of course you're going to say that.
Well, somebody confirmed it. I can't remember who it was. There was like a rapper that was like, yeah, man, I was there when he got the call.
Jermaine's in backing up. He's like, this was my last chance to do something. Fuck.
Yeah.
No, I mean, hey, we all know, again, we're conspiracy experts. We all know Jay-Z's hooked in with the Illuminati. They weren't going to let Jermaine Dupri snake
Joe
this
Camel.
opportunity.
He's been in our brains for a long time.
Yeah. I remember spinning the cheese. Mm-hmm. Spinning the cheese. I've been there. But, it's a weird time in sports to see Jay-Z and Charlemagne the God arguing and Roger Goodell sitting there just in his brain. I would love to hear his inner monologue.
As if the NFL doesn't have enough fucking problems.
Yeah.
And now they're bringing this in, and it's great. I love it.
I mean, I don't know. I think the NFL halftime shows are like, why would you want that gig anyways?
Yeah. Well, they don't make any money. They don't pay them.
No.
The halftime acts.
And it's like whoever, like when they had Springsteen, you're like, he doesn't need a bump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Maroon 5, as much as I don't like them, you know, all the ladies who now have like a 5-year-old son or younger, like they did.
Well, like Adam Levine's on the Voice or whatever it's called. Right. And so like they're oh, he's still relevant. It's like, well, no, he's got moves like Jagger and that's cool.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
They're like, we got to run him out there in front of 40 million people. Like,
I actually threw that guy out of a bar.
Did you?
Adam Levine.
Hell
this is a true story. So I was a bouncer in LA for a long time. And I was at the bar. And it was like one of those dead nights. And this dude walks in. And I remembered him because Amy had the Maroon 5 CD.
Right.
You will be loved. Yeah. Or whatever I was just like.
I can sing all the words to
it was like, whose wife was he fucking in that video? Like Tom Hanks' wife was in it or something. And I'm like, is the guy with tattoos and nipple rings about to plow Tom Hanks' wife? I think that's the video if I remember right. But he came in and he's with this like just unbelievable smoke show of a chick, right? Like one of the hottest women I've ever seen. And all of a sudden I get a call like, hey Josh, we got a guy who needs to get thrown out at the bar. I'm like, all right. I come in and I look and I'm like, oh my God, it's the fucking Maroon 5 guy. And this is always a nightmare when you have to throw out celebrities because you're just like, here we go. And this was before like everyone had cell phones.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah. So I go up and he's like just passed out drunk on the bar, like all the way asleep, drooling. And his perfect 10 girlfriend's just sitting there like, they didn't even have smartphones. She was just sitting there like fucking hammering a martini, if I remember right. And I kind of do like, hey man, you can go sleep at home. He's like, I'll sleep right here. And I was like, no, you're going to go sleep at home. Have a nice night. It's cool. Like we've all been there. And he stands up, and immediately I was like, holy fuck. I'm like, this guy's a lot bigger than I thought. And this thought raced through my mind. I was like, oh, my God. Because you're faced with a decision, right?
Yeah.
You're like, am I going to fucking just swing hard on this guy and get fired? Or do I try to do my job properly, like Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse? Like, do I be nice until you can't?
You got Dalton
and run the risk that this guy who's bigger than I think and probably exercises a lot more than me is going to land a fucking shot and knock me out.
I bet he'd whip your ass.
I mean, he
no offense to you.
It was. I mean, back then I was in really good shape and stuff, but whatever. I was like, there was a shot. You know how fights go. You never know. Like one wrong
they
shot.
They have like personal trainers and all that shit, man.
Who knows what this guy's doing? Like he probably has like wire stunt teams and shit. So I was like, I cannot be the guy that gets knocked out by Maroon 5 guy. Thankfully, his girlfriend was just like, I'm over it, and she wanted to go, so they left. But in my mind, I was like, oh my God, like. What do you do in that scenario?
Am I going to have to fight Adam Levine?
I faced this in high school, right? Yeah. When I was a high school wrestler, I wrestled 215, and then I lost down my senior year to wrestle 171 because our captain blew his knee out, right? And it was one of those, like, I was gigantic for 171, and I was pretty small for 215, right?
Right.
Well, one tournament, the fucking pairings get announced. In my first match, I had to wrestle this lady. At 171, so she was not a small lass, right?
No.
And she had the Eminem haircut. That's what I remember most, like back when Slim Shady was a thing. And you're sitting there, and again, you're like, how do I play this? Because you're like, you don't want to be the guy that's like pile driving.
Just whip her
your
ass.
female, opponent. But if I hold back and it goes wrong, and then they're like, did you just take 3 rounds to like not defeat that lady? Or
it's a lose-lose.
What if she's like sick
lose.
with it, right? So I underestimate her. She comes out, fucking dumps me on my head and pins me. And then you're like, okay, well, and also, it's not 2019. This was small town Indiana
in the 90s.
at the turn of the 2000s. So like, losing to a girl back then would have been like,
it's a death sentence.
Mom, Dad, we got to move.
We got to go.
We have guys that drive tractors to school. We got to leave this school, man. So I came out and we kind of went for a lockup and I did like a little hip toss and I pinned her like fast. And I remember being like, you get that immediate rush, like, yeah, my move worked and I won. And I stood up and it was just, boo! Just the crowd like razzing the shit out of me. And you're like
I said, so
what am I going to do?
You can't win that.
Yeah.
You can't
so
win that.
So then it was,
match.
Griffey's the guy who has to face girls.
Yeah.
It was like the Andy comment, like, oh, nice hip toss on the girl. And I'm like, she's in my weight class. She signed up. But like, so that and the Maroon 5 guys, those were like my two biggest fight. It's not just like I'm going to get my ass kicked. You're like, there's like social ramifications out there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you square up with Adam Levine and you do knock him out, say, then all the headlines are gonna be like dickhead bouncer punches at you, and you're fucked. You'll never work again. Like you're.
And they're gonna read that story and be like, guy who used to play in the NFL bouncer, which I was never. Right. I was about 6'1", 240.
Right.
I was not like this massive.
No, you're
bouncer.
done. It's a death
sentence. Then I'm just like, God damn it, dude. I think that one was a little better than the high school wrestling one because it was also the 90s.
I'm just glad you whipped a girl's ass. Good for you, man.
It's not proud. I'm not proud, but I made my choice.
Well, yeah.
I made my decision and I stuck to it because there's just no good alternative. I don't know what you do in that scenario.
I was at a bar one time and this girl that was with my buddy. She was terrible. It was like the first time anybody had ever met her, and my buddy was hammered, and I just went out. I was like, "You suck," I was just like, because she did. She was terrible, and she hauled off. She hauled off and just punched me like square in the head.
For real?
Yeah, and right as she did it, because we were on the patio. The guy that was bartending, he was a good buddy of mine. He's coming out of the door. Just happened to be coming out the door, and he just goes, "You good?" And I was like, "Yeah, D, I'm good." I was like, "I'm not gonna fucking hit her back," but like, he had this like look on his face, like, "Oh shit, is he gonna hit?" I was like, "No, like,
I don't hit ladies.
Just get her out of here."
Oh, dude, yeah. I had a lady one time. It was St. Patty's Day, and they were just like hammered, like blackout drunk by 5 p.m. And the guy who ran the bar was like, get these fucking townies out of here. Like, we want the college kids to come in, and they're going to scare everyone away. So I asked him, and the husband and them were kind of like, "Oh, fuck you, college boy." But they're like, they're going to go home and just slam and do whatever, back to their meth den, I'm sure, when they retired. And then, the lady got livid.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of walking her husband out, and we're cool. She jumps behind me and gets me in so I'm like, oh! And she reached up and went, and just fucking raked my eyes. I'm like, what if she ripped my fucking eyes out? And yeah, you're just like, I turned around and she's on the ground like, and I was like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here? You're like, what move do I have here? I was like, just get the fuck out.
Yeah, well,
because I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, well, that girl that like told her to leave her, my buddy took her home. And he was back like 10 minutes later. And he's like, "Fuck that bitch." And I was like, "Hell yeah." And we did shots and it was cool.
It was a different time. No, it's the worst. It's the absolute worst scenario.
It really is.
I remember once I saw the flip side of this, right? I was in a bar once at Dill Street, and they had a little more of like a dance crowd thing, so people were more rowdy. Well, I remember me and my brother are bouncing. My brother was like jacked back in college. He was like, a terror bouncer.
He's still
he was the guy who was like, "Oh, I only bounce so that I can try to fucking smash people."
He thought it was a fight job.
Yeah. He's like, "Do you see how good I fucking threw that combo?" You're like, "That's not how bouncing."
He thinks everything's like, he gets a sales job now, and he's like, "Who do I get a fight?" And they're like, "Nobody."
Yeah, they're like, "Just go door to door and sell."
Just sell these vacuum cleaners.
Sell these fucking hands. Oh, you don't want solar panels?
You're gonna buy this fucking solar panel.
I actually hurt myself punching my own hand. That's how tough I am. But so we see this crowd, right? And this guy's dancing with a girl. And it's the classic. You see the other girl come in hot.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You fucking piece of shit, Baba." Like, I was like, oh, God, he's out with a side chick.
Yeah.
And so me and my brother, we're like making our way. It's packed. So we're like, sliding through. And all of a sudden, I look down and he has a beer bottle in his hand. And I was like, all right. And as a bounce, you get real good at kind of like picking up small details. And I saw him hold the bottle like this. And slowly he kind of grabbed it and wrapped his fingers around to the top of the neck. So he's holding it like this. And I'm like, that's not good. Like, this won't end well.
This is not going well.
And he took that bottle and smashed her
right
across the face. Her nose fucking exploded. Because I remember we had white bouncer shirts, blood on the shirts. So me and my brother see him. We're mad. We're like, we're gonna get this guy hit a lady, right? That's just like a huge no. Like every Midwestern guy's trained, like never hit ladies. If you see that go down, stop it, right? So we go in to get him, and me and my brother grab him, and it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna. And next thing you know, just fucking punches. I was like, ow, ow. And so as we all of a sudden are like, we're going to get him, to everyone's trying to punch him over us.
Oh, yeah.
So we're just taking blows. And so I'm like, run! So we had to duck him and like try to run him through the crowd as everyone is just fucking pummeling us. And I was like, how did this happen? Don't be a bouncer, kids. Don't ever be.
I bartended for a time, and there was a guy one time sitting at my bar when I was working, and he's sitting there with his girlfriend. And I just happened to see out of the side of my eye, he backhand whacked her. And I stopped what I was doing. I was like, you, get the fuck out.
Yeah, for sure.
And she was like, we have to go. And I was like, you can stay. Yeah. You can get the fuck out. And he stands.
Also, what's this fucking wee shit?
But he stands up, and he's like 6'5". Like, I was like, fuck, man.
You're like, I done fucked up
and he
now.
like points over the bar, and he goes, what are you going to do about it, you fucking bitch? And I was like, don't call me a bitch, man. Like, that's my thing. And I was like, I'm gonna come around there and get you the fuck out. And I was like, come on, please, somebody stand up and help me. Well, right as I say that, he starts fucking running like he's gonna come around the bar, and I was like, shit. So I get myself ready, and I like start to square up because I was like, I gotta throw. Yeah. This guy's gonna murder. I mean, he's gonna murder me anyway.
This guy's going to kill me.
But I gotta at least try to get some shots.
I want my obituary to say I broke his nose.
Right as he gets to the corner of the bar, like 3 guys that I know that are sitting at the bar, like stand up and cut him off and tackle him, and I was like, fuck yes.
Like, oh my God.
Thank God.
See, that's the best because you look heroic. Yeah. But you're like, I knew I was about to get stopped.
Yeah, for 10 seconds, I was like, man, I got to try to throw like 2 good punches before I die. Yeah. Like, I got to try to get these in.
Yeah.
And then the whole, like, after he left, like, the whole time I was like, this is the guy that's going to come back with a gun.
Yeah.
And just murder us.
Oh, I mean, nowadays.
The rest of the night, I'm just, like, looking out the window, like, fuck. Like, what do you want? Yeah, hang on.
Oh, my God.
I got to make sure fucking Gigantor's not coming back.
No,
I really don't want to die.
It's a dicey proposition. Yeah. That's like the thing my dad, because now that I'm a dad, you're like, what are the dumb things my dad taught me? And he's like, always stand your ground, always fight. And I'm like, why? Like, when you see that fucking behemoth that's just like, you're going to die, just be like, you know what, man? All right.
My favorite one ever.
That's how it is in my brain. But like, my kid won't have, they'll be like, don't fucking stand your ground against a fucking 6'6" behemoth. Like, talk your way out of that shit. Get out of there.
I did it one time, and there was a guy who was giving me shit or whatever. So I come around the bar. And I get in this guy's face, and we're about even. So I was like, I have a chance if this guy swings. Like, I could maybe win this fight. Like, I'm not that scared.
Yeah.
And he's like, not leaving. He's like, motherfucking me, like back and forth. I was like, dude. And all of a sudden, he just stops, and he goes, all right, I'm leaving. And I was like, man, I'm a fucking badass. Like, this dude, I just put this dude in this. And I look over my shoulder, and I had this buddy. He's like 6'5", like fucking 300. He's a giant man.
Yeah.
And he's just looking over my shoulder at this dude, just staring at him.
Yeah.
And the kid finally saw him, was like, okay. And so the kid goes, can I go to the bathroom first? So I look at my buddy and I go, can you go to the bathroom first? And my buddy goes, yeah, that's fine. My buddy follows him into the bathroom. Not 10 seconds later, this kid comes fucking full sprint out of the bathroom, out the front door, gone, never saw him again. My buddy comes out of the bathroom. I go, what'd you do? I go, what'd you do? And he goes, you really want to know? And I go, nah, it's probably better if I did.
Right.
If I don't. And I got him a shot, and we carried on with our night. But like for 2 seconds, I was like, man, I'm a badass. And I was like, nope.
Yeah. Nope. No, I've never had that moment in my life. Like, it's the bouncer dream is just to be able to look at a guy and they're like, oh, sorry, sir. I respect your authority. Yeah. That never happened once in my entire career of bouncing, ever.
Never for me either. But I'm not, I'm just an all-time badass.
Yeah, I mean,
with
that's cool.
Karate moves or something. I don't know. I'm not.
I mean, yeah. Once I took that chick down, I'm like, it's all uphill from here.
Yeah, I haven't been in like
my reputation is solid.
I got in like a real fight in college once, and that was like it.
Yeah,
I'm 17 years out of practice, man. I get my ass kicked.
The lesson I learned is that guys who are like, I'm really good at fighting, it's like, I don't think that's true, right? Because like almost every fight I've ever been in turns into like a ton of people fighting.
Yeah.
And it's always me who's like, I'm in here, like, I'll go first, like, come on, team. And then I'm always the one who just takes like all the punches. And then my brother's like, yeah, I whipped like 3 dudes' asses. They were punching you and I blindsided them. I'm like, cool, thanks, bro. Good looking out. I have like the Homer Simpson thing. I just let everyone tire themselves out so my friends can clean out.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, just punch Griff's fat body. Work your way out. But that's all right.
Yeah.
Speaking of troublemakers,
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield.
Oh, God.
How you feeling about this this new attitude for the Browns era?
So, you know what? I don't hate it.
You know what's weird? I don't either. They're division rival.
I don't know if I like it, but I don't hate it.
Here's what I like most about it is a lot of attitude, right? Odell Beckham's under the leg catch. Baker Mayfield doing GQ, whatever the fuck he's doing, talking shit about Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to win 7 games. And that's what I like the most. It'd be the most Cleveland thing to do.
But here's the thing. If you're the Browns with this storied history of losing, and on paper, you finally have a team that looks like they could do something.
Yeah.
Why not just go and just be cocky assholes about it?
I mean, I agree.
Like, instead of waiting around and being like, man, I hope we win this year. Like, you've done that every year for the last 30 years. You're like, I hope we win. Like, you finally have a team on paper. Fucking start swinging some dicks a little bit. Why not?
That was my
And then if you
theory
ever get your dick kicked in, like, whatever. You're back to where you were
You're
before.
still the Browns.
Yeah, you didn't lose anything.
This is my entire theory with the Tennessee Titans from this show is, if you're the Titans, why aren't you cheating?
Right.
Like,
we're talking about that.
There's no benefit for you to not be cheating. You should be cheating.
Yeah.
Same with the Browns, because this is the one time, maybe in the history of the Browns, where they have a brief window here where they're like, oh my God, we're not losers. Despite being losers last year.
And
right? Like, they didn't win a lot
right
of
now,
games.
they're still losers.
They
haven't
won 1-5 against playoff teams.
Right.
They won one game that wasn't in their home stadium.
Right.
Not an impressive. I mean, they started the season tying the Steelers. That was good.
Right.
And they weren't great.
No.
And there's a big chance
but they were
that
improved.
Baker regresses this year, right? You see
Could
it
be.
sometimes, sophomore slump. People have more tape on you.
Yep.
You know, they take you a little more seriously, and, you know, they're going to be playing bigger games.
Yeah.
So maybe they regress, which I, as a Steelers fan, will like to see them stay where they are.
You would.
Yeah, I would like it. But honestly, I'm with you because all my Steeler friends are like, these pieces of shit, they're the Browns. They should know their place. And I'm like, they know their place.
Yeah, they do.
It's like that fucking prison in Batman where Bane lived, where he's like, yeah, I was down here with all the fucking guys trying to rape me all day, and I just looked up at the sun and I said, when I get up there, I'm going to fuck you guys up.
I'm going to kill everybody.
Yeah, that's how the Browns feel.
I was born in the darkness.
Yeah, right. You only adopted it. And Baker's like, I was born in Oklahoma. You went to Duke.
Fucking Dan. So he calls out Dan. He's like, what do you say? Basically, like,
he's
how,
like,
how in
I
the
can't
fuck
believe
did they
the
draft
Giants
this guy?
drafted him, 1. And 2, people overthink it. You have to win. And I was like, okay, I get it. Like, Cowherd went nuts on this, and I'm like, I get it. This is a really dumb statement because there are certain colleges where any of these quarterbacks can play, and they're going to win like 15 games every year. Oklahoma being one of them, right?
Right.
Like, every other quarterback around Baker was also successful.
Right.
Right? Like, the guy right after him also won the Heisman.
Kyler
went
Murray.
number 1.
Yeah.
So, I think his argument's pretty fucking dumb, right? And also, like, look at Roethlisberger, Rodgers. A lot of these guys don't go to the big powerhouse football programs necessarily, but they do great in the league.
Right.
They just have a thing, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. When they drafted Jones, I also was like, what the
Everybody
fuck?
was. They were like, what?
Yeah.
Huh?
I mean, the Giants seem to be...
Like, people were looking through their draft sheets like, who the fuck is this guy?
Well, I was like, the fact that they're like, let's get rid of Odell, keep Eli, and draft the quarterback from Duke. I was like, oh, man, they're trying to be the East Coast Browns.
Oh, yeah.
But also, this is a weird thing because I saw all these people were mad at Baker, and I don't love Baker or whatever, but they're like, he should have more respect. And I was like, why?
Here's what
if I play a sport, every other quarterback every week, I'm talking mad shit.
Yeah, you want to beat him.
You got to pump yourself
Here's
up.
what I really love about it. So Baker, he was number 1. He got taken number 1. This guy was, 6th pick? And he's yelling from the top down, going, how in the fuck did that guy? Because usually it's like the guy that gets drafted like 10th, who feels like he should have been drafted 6th, and he's like, how in the fuck did they take that guy, not me? No, Baker's flipping that shit on its head and just going, hey, I'm up here, you stupid pussies, like, you all suck, just like yelling down, and I fucking love that.
There's like guys who are like, I could be a historically good running back, and because running backs don't exist, I go 7th, and they're mad,
I wish they would have, like, at the draft, they would have
Baker.
drafted Baker and then just kept a camera on him. So every other quarterback, you just see him, like, side-eyeing. Every time a quarterback goes off the board, he's like, bullshit. It's like, dude, you're already taken.
Someone throws him on Twitch, he's like, that fucking bitch? Are
he's
you
just eye-rolling every quarterback that goes off the board. Fucking loser.
Yeah. He's like, oh, yeah, cool. You got drafted without being tackled by the police on camera? That's impressive.
Whatever. Yeah. Not going to make it.
Hey, I mean, to be fair, the guy did it. You know, he won in college.
Yeah.
He won awards. He went number 1.
Yep.
You know,
had one of the better.
Cleveland liked him.
Yeah, had one of the better Cleveland seasons. I wouldn't call it a good season,
but
it's a good Cleveland season.
It's not a historic season, and I think the math will bear out that he has a lot of hurdles to overcome.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how this ends, but I think it's weird that we live in this age now where people. It's like my least favorite thing where everyone, like when you watch a UFC fight end and the guy's like, "What's up, bro? Respect," and I'm like, "Weren't you just saying you were gonna like slit his wife's throat a week ago?"
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing. There is some sportsmanship. I'm okay with sportsmanship, but you don't have to hide it. Like, if you think some guy isn't in your league, you could fucking tell him that before. Part of the game is if those two teams play, this guy is going to have Baker in his head. He owns real estate in his head like Freddy Krueger. My dog's trying to break into the office.
It's okay, Bear.
But that's fine. Like, he owns real estate now. And I don't know that it's right or wrong, but fuck it.
Well, it's the LeBron James thing. It's like I mean, he high fives guys on the other team during the game.
Yeah.
Like, he'll be like, good. And I can't.
He's like, next summer, me and you, banana boat.
You know, like I was never a professional athlete, but I played a lot of sports, and like it would have never crossed my mind as a competitor to be like, let me go out of my way to tell that guy he's doing good in the middle of the game where I'm trying to fucking destroy him.
No.
I don't get that mentality.
Yeah.
You know, I do.
Well, especially in the NBA, they're all like best buddies now.
It's troubling, yeah.
It's like they show up and they're like, let's put on a Harlem
There's no
Globetrotter
rivalry.
show.
There's no. It's just a bunch of friends out there high-fiving each other, traveling and fucking getting shit foul calls. I hate the NBA.
Now, I don't think you need to be like Khabib and be like, I won the fight, now I'm going to go fight your teammates and relatives in the crowd.
But I'm okay with that.
You know what? Because I remember, because I'm a Connor fan, so I was sad that Connor lost, and I was like, look at this fucking trash bag out there. But I was like, you know what? They said a lot of questionable shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, also, it's like, his job is to fuck people up. So what Khabib did, I was like, hey, at least he's honest.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to sit there and like when Baker said that about Jones, and Jones was just kind of like, I like watching Baker throw the football.
Well, yeah.
I was like, at least say something. Be like, come on, man.
It's like when I was a kid, and I remember when I found out well into their careers that Magic Johnson and Larry Bird were friends off the court. It blew my mind because when they would play each other, I mean, they would try to kill each other.
Dude, there were fights in all those series.
And I remember, like, when I found that, I was probably like, it was well into their careers, but I was like, oh, they're actually friends? Because I just saw them try to kill each other.
Yeah.
Like 2 days ago.
Well, no, because as you get older and you gain respect in this and that.
I get that. Respect,
you gain perspective, right?
But
you're like, wow, that guy helped push me.
When the clock is running, like, you have to put that to the...
Oh, well, you never saw Magic being like, Kareem, don't fucking punch McHale. Like, Magic wasn't... he was like, hey, I'm a Laker, man. I'm a Laker. You're a Celtic.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do... I like the shit talking. Because to me, again, I don't give a fuck about sports past entertainment value.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't think any of it matters or is wildly important. And I think part of the show is I want to know that these guys... Like, I like knowing that a guy's heated inside.
Yeah, absolutely.
He sees another guy like, oh, this guy thinks he's a QB1. I'm a fucking QB1. I like knowing that Baker takes that personal.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's the right way to do it or it makes Baker a better player. I just like it.
I do too.
And also, we live in an era too, like, how many players ever actually tell you a real opinion?
Right.
And I'm like, right or wrong, Baker's just spitting shit.
Sugarcoat everything, and make it, good for the for press and all that.
Like, I don't even know why they do like sideline interviews or after game interviews. It's like, I know the cliches, like one game at a time.
The only sideline interview there should be is just drunk Joe Namath every time. it's the best one ever. No other sideline report will ever be any better.
Yeah.
So either give me drunk Joe Namath or don't do them.
He's like, I'm just here to grow.
or Greg Popovich. He's good on the sideline.
If they never put a microphone in front of Popovich again, I'm okay with it. It was cool for a while, but like, dude, enough. He's got to get new material.
Well, yeah,
he's got to get new material.
But there was one a few years ago. I'll never forget it, and it was Patty Mills was having a really good game, and I can't remember who it was, pulling to the side going into halftime or whatever, and she says, she goes, oh, Patty Mills is doing really well this year. Why didn't he get many minutes last year? And Popovich just goes, because he was a little fat ass. and he walks off. Yeah. And I remember watching that game and just losing my shit. I was like, hell yeah, Pop.
Yeah, see, that's good material. Mostly Pop's just like, what's your game? Or why don't you let me coach? And it's like, all right.
Yeah.
Like, he should do like we do with our dinger videos. You just got to write out like 100 of them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to do.
Just start throwing them at the wall.
All right. I have to do 82 of these a year.
Yeah.
So every game he has in his pocket 2 little one-liners, right?
He just marks it off.
Gone forever. Patty Mills body fat. You know what I mean? Like, it's that easy, Pop.
Yeah.
You got to get new material.
He's a good soundbite sometimes, though.
Hey, I like a guy who's a soundbite, because this is the thing, too. Sports to me have become, I'm so much more interested in the storyline of sports than I am the games usually, it feels like now. Like, almost every regular season for me is like, all right, how does this help further a narrative for me? And get me to the playoffs when I can really give a shit, right?
Right.
So, like, guys like this that are just out there winging it and talking mad shit.
Yeah.
Hey, man, that's more fun for me. Yeah.
Swing your dick. Yeah. And Baker has nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Because they've set him up. I mean, they've put everybody around him. So I guess he does have something to lose, but he hasn't done anything yet. He doesn't have anything to lose. He hasn't earned anything to lose, I guess.
Even if this squad loses, they'll be like, well, Odell Beckham Jr.'s always been dysfunctional.
Right.
They are the Browns. They're historically bad.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm getting at. That's
he's always going to have an out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a better way to put it. It's not
like
that he doesn't have anything to lose.
Brady,
he's got an out. Yeah.
Yeah, if he followed Brady, then it's like, oh, everything this guy does sucks.
But he's following like Josh McCown.
Yeah, right.
He's got to fill like Derek Anderson's shoes.
Yeah, all he has to do is just keep those fucking sad people that still show up to Browns games happy. That's it.
You're no Bernie Kosar. Like, okay.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely
fine.
Right. Yeah. Let me have some more time with alcoholism, and then we'll talk.
Yeah, it's a win-win for him, I think, really, and I like it. That's probably a good time to get out. Make sure you guys go to CoachKentMurphy.com, check out the bats, check out the new video, comment on the Instagram if you want to win one of those bats. Don't forget about that. You have until Sunday night to do that.
Instagram, Jaw Bats and Kent for the contest.
Yep, and we are now on Spotify and iTunes.
iTunes podcast app, Spotify, we're on there. We're working on just jumping on every podcast platform, period. If you can go to the iTunes app, it's Nick Hall Comedy Podcast. Leave us a rating and review. That helps us out big time, man. We already dominate YouTube. We're in there for this. Mark Maron, we're coming for you, dog.
Reggie Miller, I got a new shirt. I just wanted to show that off.
The Nerdlies. It's another podcast I like.
You kids have a good day. Bye.